and good evening, and welcome to Ciara Richards. You're hearing a lot of crumbling in the background because I have a lot of stuff on my bed that I love to sit on. Anyways, let's start off with a did you know? I know we usually have Earth Hour way down in August, but did you know that Earth Month actually presents itself in February, where the oasis of planet Earth changes? That causes a lot of earthquakes to happen and a lot of bridges to fall in the matter of natural disasters. And one of the reasons why is it's best for it to fall in the winter time. Otherwise, or when spring is cold, otherwise there could be a lot of damage done when the under earth is very, very soft in the summertime. And we wouldn't have any vehicles to drive if we have a lot of earthquakes in the summertime. Let's just say that the roads would be too soft. Um, we would be traveling by water. We would be traveling by water. If that were the case, we would be traveling by water right here on planet Earth, right here in Canada, if anything happened and Earth became too soft. And most natural disasters usually tend to happen in colder climates. So if there's an earthquake in the summertime, it's because it's cold enough to cause a gas situation to combust in order to not catch on fire, because the reason why earthquakes happen in the cold is to try and prevent temperature fires. Because what's happening is the plates are widening and they're opening up and they're strengthening, therefore creating more land particles. And when the plates are opening up after an earthquake happens or with an earthquake happening, you don't want there to be a fire. Otherwise, there's not going to be a reason to have the earthquake and the plates split open in the first place. So, you want the earthquake to happen in the month of February or January. Therefore, it will give time that by the time there is a warm up, which usually begins by March break, and that depends on the region where you are in Europe and in America. March break in Canada is usually from about the 12th or the 8th to the 15th of March, which is when everything is starting to calm down. Before that, during other European spring breaks, that's when a whole lot of crazy earthical stuff is happening, which means the plates are shifting, meaning that the plates are either seizing or the plates is opening up in order to create more land and more prospects for growth. Now, what do I have that is represented? And the color specifically was requested green. First of all, I have my tan line forest green shirt. You know there's a forest green army and then there's a tan line forest green. There is a tan line forest green, so there's my representation on my body right here. What else do I have that's green? I have my stapler which represents the tree brand, and then here I have my hook and claw from the stapler kit that helps me to pull out the staples when I've stapled the paper the way I want it to be stapled for the time I want it to be stapled. This is the hook and claw. Now you've all seen a lot of whole situation with that big yellow machinery. That's where this came from. That big yellow cloth thingy that looks like it will cut you in like 10 million different pieces as a human. That's where this came up. This is just a smaller version of that. So that's two things that I have, well, three that I have that are green. All right, let's go into my books. I have a whole lot of books that are green. A whole lot of books. First of all, I bought my clipboard. This is Lion of the Tribe of Judah. Lion of the Tribe of Judah. One of my favorite animals, favorite representation of an animal. Lion of the Tribe of Judah. Okay. Then I have, this is the original paper in this green colored notebook that the Bible is inscribed in. So when you have the paper Bible, you're holding onto this notebook right here. You're holding onto the Bible in this notebook, which is my stuff. But when you're reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, that's more than likely this paper right here. When you are holding onto the King James Version of the Bible, you're holding onto this type of paper right here. Now, I flip further down onto this type of paper. You know the little um, inscription or description or messaging center that the Bible has underneath the verse? That's written on this paper right here. All right. So this is the King James version. This is the King James version. And then you have this, which is the Woman's Bible. This one, which is the Woman's Bible. Um, there used to be a lot more pages in here, but I've been doing a whole lot of fact checking and a whole lot of time stamping, so it's kind of thin now. And that was from 2022 to 2024. So it's kind of thin now. So I've been doing a lot of research within this book. Then you have the informational format of the Bible in this book called the Mindfulness Journal. This is the part of the Bible that lets you think. You read the Bible, you study the Bible. Right now, I use it for my receipts because I do my mindfulness in another format, and you will see that very, very soon. But I use it for my receipts, which actually do count. And this one goes towards McDonald's. McDonald's. And what book of the Bible is this from? This is from the book of James. This is from the book of James. So if you're reading about places, you're probably reading about McDonald's restaurants, and you're reading about where James eats in this century, because you have to remember that a lot of the New Testament facts has not happened yet, and which means that James is happening now. But after many research, James eats. James, one of Jesus' disciples, he eats a lot of McDonald's restaurants. So, sir, when you ask me why do I get to eat at McDonald's, the book of James said I can. The book of James in the Holy Bible said I can. And then you have this book right here. This is the art notebook where you can write and draw. This book talks about places. So this book, this color talks about Egypt, the country of Egypt. You can tell that the gold binding is Egypt, and this talks about the prevalency of the factors of Egypt, such as land, wood, water, and governing. And this comes from the book of Psalms. Psalms as well as Genesis. And then you have this one that says ridiculously good ideas. You know the Jabez prayer, or where David says, or that very smart man in the Bible that says write your ideas, or the, well, there's several places where it comes from, but it says write your ideas down in a book and write your thoughts down in a book or on a tablet, whether it's good or bad, in order to release that thought out of your system. Hopefully, that it won't become physically permanent when you have written that thought on a paper. That's this. So this is several pages in the Bible that talks about writing the information down to get it out of your system so that you're not affected by any negative thinking that causes you to, well, Viola Davis commit murder. I'm just saying. And then, finally, for the green aspect, I have this. I have this. This is the Livre de Composition notebook. Livre de Composition notebook. And basically, what this is if you're in an office, or in this day and age when you do work from home, you this is like a messaging center for the boss. You write the message in this type of book, and the boss gets the message, because whether you work from home or not, the boss has to get the message. The boss sees the message that you've written down here, and the boss deals with the action. So this is talking about, spoken about, in the book of Leviticus as well as the book of Revelations. Write the message down for the tab on the tablet for others to see it, so that when anything outside of any portion that is not normal happens, you have recorded it. And this has been done a long time before video cameras came in. So I still do this portion and I write stuff down. And my boss man sees this every day. He picks this up every day. He reads it, and he reads a transfer from another person who's like myself to me, when they've gone through the same thing with pretty much the same set of persons, because it's written in the same book talking about the same action, when it happened, where it happened, who did it, why it happened, and how we can pretty much stop that situation from happening again, or happening too quickly, because Earth does revolve and things will repeat itself. However, we want to be able to not repeat itself where it happens to you twice in 1 year. So let me just say to McKenna Walker that I shouldn't have had 17 people in my house telling me to be quiet by you in 2024. I should have only had one, because there's only one of this. With that being said, that has been a little bit of a tidbit information as to what is coming for the month of February, where I am, what I'm doing, what I know, and what the lie is that's been told that nobody else knows that I knew about. Anyways, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all when February shows up. Bye bye.